Hello, this is Dr. Bob with Proactive Wellness and Injury Center, and I'm excited to share with you information that I know is going to help you to achieve the best performance of your life. And in this segment today, I have the pleasure and the privilege of introducing to you Diane Hesterberg. She is the force behind the force of Sonrise Farms. And it's exciting because they are a local farm in this area. They've been at it for, I believe you said over 20
Over
years.
20 years.
Over 20 years. And the exciting thing is this, we've talked to you about your need to have quality food, and the food that you eat becomes the body you live in, and the better the quality of the ingredients, the nutrients, well, then the better opportunity you're going to have to enjoy the best performance of your life. These folks have taken, they're the experts now in the area of raising cattle, and I'll let her talk in a few moments, I promise. Raising non-GMO, grass-fed, range-free, the whole 9 yards here, so that when you get something from them, you know it's going to be of the highest quality. So without any further ado then, let me ask you, Diane, how many years now have you been at this?
We have been in farming over 25 years, but we've been in the production of pasture-raised meats for 20 now.
20.
About 20 years, yes.
So, okay, you were in farming for a longer period of time. What
Yes.
caused you to change your direction here?
What caused us to change our direction was, first of all, my husband was working a job off the farm and then row crop farming for about 5 years. And we had a young family. I was homeschooling, and he just wanted to be home with the children, helping me raise them more than doing farming and working off the farm. So we decided at that point that we needed to figure out some way to bring him home full time, and we added livestock to the operation. And at that time, we were also started reading about grass finished beef, and we thought, well, why not take some of our less productive cropland, rejuvenate it, make it more sustainable, and turn it into pasture land, is what we did. And so we took quite a bit of we took all of our unproductive soils, and over the last 20 years, we've turned them into pastures and rejuvenated them with the animal life that's on them, with cattle and chickens.
Okay, so it's basically a throwback. Is that what I'm understanding? It's not using chemical fertilizers or nitrogen that you put down on the fields, or you're not enhancing them with anything. You're just letting the waste materials go back into the fields and feed it and fuel it, and
for the pasture lands,
for the pasture lands.
For the pasture lands, yes. We pretty much try and do the model of, we look at the animal, how did God create this animal? Like a cow is a ruminant, so it should be eating grass. It should not be eating corn.
Okay.
That's not healthy for it. I mean, it's not meant. It's like the buffalo, how they roam the prairies, because they're a ruminant. So we felt a ruminant should be eating grass, 100% grass.
Okay.
That's the model we went with, 100% grass, moving them to strategic locations each day. My husband moves them. He's the production manager. He moves them once or twice every day. The cattle are moved once or twice every day to a new section of grass. Of course, that means the manure doesn't build up in any spot, and the hoof action seeds plants and grasses and rejuvenates that soil, and then we move them on to a new section, and it keeps going over the 50-some acres of pasture that
so it just replenishes, it recycles, it grows stronger and fresher, and then you move them to clean grass, fresh grass. They get the nutrients, and then they move on, allowing that previous area to regrow.
And any of our pastures, before they're repeated again, get at least 6 to 8 weeks of a rest period, and before they are, so they can rejuvenate, replenish. That manure that was placed there can rain down in, and you've got a healthy cycle, healthy carbon rebuilding cycle going on.
This is exciting because I do believe that this area isn't really aware that we have something like Sonrise Farms available to us, and then the disparity, the difference between the type of meats, the type of products that you're delivering, and the ones that we see in the market, because arguably, admittedly, I should say, there's a lot of chemical retardants in those foods, and I'm thinking that before they go to slaughter, much of these farms, they beef up the cattle with growth hormones or steroids or whatever it might be, or that they're genetically modified to make them bigger, heavier, which means they get more money. But yours are necessarily not that way, right?
No. Did you know that 97% of American cattle that you buy in the grocery store are raised in a feedlot? 97%.
That's no, I had no idea.
Yes, it is 97%. What we are doing on the grass finish, from birth to finish, is 3% of the market in the United States.
Uh-huh.
That are doing it in a natural, sustainable way.
So this is quite unique. We're very privileged to have something like that, in our area because of the rarity of it.
Yes, and I don't think people quite realize how important what we're putting into our bodies is. This product that we're offering is as natural as you can really get. I mean, as far as like we're going back to how the buffalo did it.
Uh-huh.
And then you're talking about cattle on a feedlot stuffed in a small area, fed grain, which isn't what they were created to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have to give them medications to keep them healthy. And so here you are eating unhealthy chemical laced meat. What are you going to become? An unhealthy chemical laced person.
Sure, yeah, it's passing it right into your system.
I mean, because what we eat is what our cells take in. It's what we become.
Absolutely.
And so that's the model we chose to go with, is as natural as possible. We don't need antibiotics. We don't need hormones. They grow just fine on grass. Now, maybe not as fast, but
you're talking about the quality now, not the speed. So it's a higher quality, indeed, cleaner, pure, the way, like you alluded to a few moments away, the way the good Lord made it.
Yes,
and that's what you want.
Usually anything that's super fast isn't super healthy.
No. So you're saying fast foods aren't that good for you? Huh?
No, they're not.
Okay. All right, I have to tear up my coupons.
Well, I'll let you deal with that. I'm not going to.
Okay. So you spoke a few moments ago about the quality of your products. So what kinds of products do you have at Sonrise Farms?
Right now, on Sonrise Farms, as far as what we raise on our farm, we raise grass-finished beef and pasture-raised chicken is what we raise. Now, in our farm store, we also offer other products. I talk with local growers who are like-minded, have a like vision, use natural practices. Some are organic, some are not, but everybody that I work with has to be no genetically modified grains, pasture-based. So right now in our farm store, we're offering grass-finished beef, pasture-raised chicken, pasture-raised eggs, pasture-raised pork, raw honey, natural beauty care products. Those are some of the things. And I'm always looking for things that are natural, healthy, chemical-free to bring into the farm store. So that could be changing. That I'm trying to network with like-minded producers and expand what I can offer, because honestly, the things I bring into my store are things that I want to feed my family.
I see. Okay.
So I'm looking for producers who are going to grow things that I can feed my own family.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So your forte, though, from what I was hearing, is your husband, you raise the beef and the chickens.
And the chickens.
And the other products, the pork and whatever else, that comes from other experts or people like yourself that are experts in that particular area, and who are using the same strict ways of raising their herds or whatever their products. And they're bringing it to you, and then you are distributing it. You're the distributor then, is that correct?
Yes, that is how we do it. And if I tell my customers all the time, if I wouldn't eat it, I wouldn't put it in my store.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty good statement to live by. So you mentioned you have a store.
Yes.
Where's your store located?
It is located halfway between Champaign and Danville, and 12 miles north in the little town, south of the little town of Penfield. It's on our farm, and we do farm tours. We love to show people what we do, so you know where your food's coming from.
Tell me about the farm tours. What does that entail? How do the people go ahead about arranging a farm tour?
Well, we do them periodically. We just did one about 3 weeks ago, and people can sign up on our website, and then we take a tour of the farm. We show them how we raise the cattle, how we raise the chickens, how we process chickens, because we are state inspected to process the chickens on site.
Mhm.
We show them just our facilities, and they can ask any question they want. There is nothing that we do that is behind the scenes. They
Okay.
can see everything on the farm that we do. We'll show them everything.
Okay, so before we go any further, you mentioned the website. What's your web address for the people that are watching there?
It's sonrisefarms.net.
Sonrise. It's the Sonrise. Sonrise Farms, all one word.
Yep.
Sonrisefarms.net.
Net. Yes,
Okay.
and on our website, you can order product. We do not do any type of delivery at this point. That is
Mhm.
something that we are working on for next year. We're considering a possibility of doing drop site deliveries in communities like Danville, Champaign, Mahomet on a monthly basis, but we're still working on logistics of that for
I see.
possibly next year. At this
Mhm.
point, all of our sales are done through our farm store, our on-farm store.
Okay, now, and you mentioned that they could do farm tours. Now, they would contact your website. Are the farm tours limited to groups? Do you have to have so many before you do a farm tour? Is that the way
We
you
just
like to
schedule
do it?
them periodically, and then we put it up on our website that we're having one at distance. I don't think we'll have one again this year. We just had one 3 weeks ago, and now we're into. We also are still crop farmers, and so we're now into harvest.
So you're busy,
We're
yeah,
busy
with that.
right now. So
Yeah.
probably next spring again, we'll be starting to do some farm tours again. I was a little disappointed with our customer base. We didn't have a lot of people interested in the farm tour, but I think some of it is that people are busy. And also, I just don't know how much people think about the way their food is raised.
Well, it could be too, Diane, that people aren't aware of the farm tours or the availability. And this is something we hope to put out to our group that watches that, you can contact Diane through the website, and perhaps there's a school group or there's a church group or a cooking club. This would be great for a cooking club, to see the kinds of products that you would be sharing, whatever it might be, and then you could contact her at a time and then orchestrate it so that your group could get out there and see how things are done. I think it would give you, it's amazing, the difference that it makes in the quality of the foods. And it's exciting to see something and to know that something like this is available in our community. It really, really is. So
our website does offer a few more things. We have some videos on our website about how to cook, even like how to cook a whole chicken, because most of our chickens are sold whole at this point. We are going to start selling them by parts here in the next couple of weeks. But most of our chickens are sold whole, and a lot of people don't even know how to cook a whole chicken. So I've done a video on how to cook a whole chicken. I do different cooking videos on our website, and you can join our email newsletter, which gives you kind of every 2 weeks you get an update on new things happening on the farm, like a farm tour or a new cooking video or a new recipe, or chickens are available or something like that. And one of the things I didn't even mention this, we just recently made a connection with an organic farmer north of us, and we're going to be offering Thanksgiving turkeys this year.
I was about to ask you if you had any kind of special things for the upcoming holidays or different holidays.
So we have Thanksgiving turkeys that can be ordered, and they can be ordered right now on our website. You can do a pre-order on those with a deposit, and then picked up the Saturday before Thanksgiving at our farm.
And these turkeys then, from
pasture raised, organically fed.
Wow.
Yeah, you can even go on our website and see. I did a blog on this farmer, pictures of his turkeys, kind of what he feeds them, his practices that he uses. And I try to do that with all of our producers that we bring into our network. I try and do an informational blog on how they do what they do, and so you can meet them too. So it's not like, yeah, you may know me, but you may not know the person who raises the eggs or the turkeys. So I want you to meet them.
Now, given the fact that your products are basically natural and the other products are 97% are chemicalized, is there a difference in the way you prepare them? Is one a little bit more fragile or delicate? You're mentioning you have cooking classes. I'm thinking just that some of the retardants in the food may make it harder to cook or longer to cook, whereas a natural product is easier, lesser heat or shorter time, and there's got to be a discernible difference in the taste.
I don't really know that there's definitely a difference in the taste, first off, but as far as preparation, I don't. I think a lot of people, they'll have to learn how to prepare natural foods like a whole chicken. Most
Mm-hmm.
people don't even know. They'll look at a whole chicken and they'll say, "What do I do with this carcass?"
Uh-huh.
Because it looks like a real animal, and it was a real animal at one time.
Right,
It's not
right.
just pieces,
Uh-huh.
and so some of it's just learning how to use more of a whole product than
I see.
but we do sell. I mean, we sell, and see, beef is cut up in like steaks and roasts
Oh,
and those
sure.
kind of things.
Yeah.
So the preparation is pretty much the same. I think the biggest thing that comes is the taste. Is just
Yeah, and the benefits certainly from health-wise as
oh
well.
yes, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. We have a son with food allergies.
Ah,
He's had food allergies since he was. We knew since birth something was wrong, and so we've tried a lot of different things over the years. But he is anaphylactic to milk, any dairy products, and meats except poultry, and he can tell the difference in his mouth
mm-hmm.
when he ingests chicken that is not raised on our farm
Mm-hmm.
over chicken that comes from the store. He's eaten it a couple times and he refused to eat. He said there's something about the taste that really
Uh-huh.
he's super sensitive, and
Okay.
he has extreme sensitivities.
Yes.
And so he can tell that there's some chemicals in there that are irritants to him.
Absolutely. Yeah, that alludes to the fact that how fearfully and wonderfully the body's made. That's a protective mechanism. It's just like the same, probably known to most of us, as the reaction we have to sour milk. Nobody has to teach you. You're not instructed as to this is sour, this is not, and taste this compared to that. Innately, as intuitively, as soon as that sour milk hits your tongue, it's gone as quickly as it comes in. And when you have a person like Diane was talking about her son, when you have certain types of food allergies, you may not be able to describe it, you may not be able to put it into words or understand it totally, but as soon as it goes into the mouth, your body makes you aware of that, and you just know that there is something that's a little off and it's not right. That's amazing. It really, really is. And I'm certain that after a while, people that are buying your products would be able to discern that too.
Oh, yeah.
Their bodies would know that, so that when they go out, they can tell, boy, this doesn't taste like what we get, or it's not. You can tell that it's this or whatever it might be.
Definitely, I hear
Yeah.
that all the time from my customers, all the time.
Mm.
And I think the biggest things they can tell almost instantaneously is the eggs.
The eggs?
The eggs. That is the one thing that they will tell me right off. They can tell the difference instantly is the eggs. They even look different. They don't even look like the same thing.
So what's the difference? What's the disparity between the
the
looks?
oaks are orange. They're orange. They are not yellow. They are orange. If they're out on pasture, being has one. What's interesting is I have the statistic here about eggs that the benefits of pasture raised. There was a study done recently, and they say they have seven times more beta carotene than just a conventionally raised egg. 7 times more. 3 times more vitamin E. 2/3 more vitamin A. 2 times more omega-3. 1/3 less cholesterol, and 1/4 less saturated fat. And that was a study done by a university.
Hmm.
And my customers, once they start eating the eggs, they just can't eat the other ones. They're just like they have no
spoiled.
taste. They have no taste. They just don't make me feel as well. They're just yucky.
Yeah, your body knows. Yeah.
And I was just amazed at that study that was done, that they were that much higher. And the real difference is what they're fed and the environment they live in, the fresh air, the grass, the sunshine.
Sure. It all makes a difference.
Yeah.
That's
the way
improves the quality.
all of us. We're better if we have fresh air, sunshine, exercise. So
absolutely.
These animals that are in confinement in these feedlots or housing situations where they're all stuffed together, and like egg layers is probably the worst because egg layers are in a cage, and most of them have this, the cage is the size of a sheet of paper, and that's where they live their entire life, inside a building in a cage the size of a sheet of paper. So you can see why that would make a huge difference in the eggs if the chicken can be outside, scratching, exercising, getting sunshine,
Sure.
grass, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Hmm.
I think that's the most profound example of the difference
The difference, yeah.
because they can't even move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a sad fact indeed. Now look, we've established the fact that the product that you have is certainly far superior to what's available to most people. 97% of the time, yours is going to be better. So when these people, and I'm sure that there's a tremendous interest in the people that are watching this as to how they go ahead and get in touch with you, how they place an order. Is there a limit to the size of the orders? I mean, can you go ahead and address those?
Well, we're at the end of our production year. There is only so much we can raise on our family. It's my husband and I and our 2 teenage children that are still at home. We've had 3 more that have moved on to other professions. And so there's a limit as to what we can raise. So we are schedule set for this year. I have a few chickens available for a processing date in October, November. And then, but I still have like beef that's available. It can either be purchased in the store, or if you're a bulk buyer, you can buy like a quarter of beef. You get about 100 pounds of meat from a quarter of beef. Of course, you know, it's one purchase. You have to have freezer space, but we have that available yet, and eggs in the store, and the pork and the raw honey. And we didn't get into honey. That's an amazing product there. And so, you know, we have all these products in the store. You can see what we have on our website. Everything we have is listed out on our website, and you can pre-order things on the website, or you can just give me a call.
So it's as fresh as you can get then. They pre-order it, you can have it ready for slaughter. When it comes up, then they have their order filled.
Yes.
And
The fresh chickens, we process them in the morning, and they are picked up fresh in the afternoon.
oh,
When we do that 3 times a year, we do it June, September, and then October, November. We do another group. And there's only so much we can, you know, we're one family. There's only so much we can raise. And we want to keep it that way because we want to control how the product is raised. You know, I don't want to get to a factory situation because that's what got our food system in the mess it's in right now.
yeah.
So
the best thing for people to do that are interested are to go to your website and contact you through that, and let them know, or let you know what interests they have, and find out all about you, and then go from there.
Yes, our website's very informational. There's a lot about who we are, how we got started, ways you can order. You know, you can learn about the products we have, learn about our different producers that we network with, and that kind of thing.
And you mentioned that there's a possibility down the road that you might develop drop sites or delivery sites in different areas.
Yes, that is something we're working on for next year.
So the bigger your demand, the more likely it would be in a certain area. You would have a delivery area.
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
That's
and that
great.
would be something like if someone was on our email list that we send out every 2 weeks. As those things develop, that's what I keep customers in the loop on. I always tell everybody that's insider information, the email.
Okay.
The email system.
Behind the scenes, what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
You find out about it first before it ever hits social media or our website or anything. I let our email customers who've been with us, they always know first. They always have the first opportunity. So, hey, and when you sign up for my email, you get send out a free cookbook on how to cook with ground beef and that kind of thing. And I try to provide healthy recipes for people.
There you go.
A lot of people don't even know where to start. You know?
That's a great reason to sign up for the email. You know, just to get the cookbook there on how to cook the certain types of meat and whatnot. That's very kind of you to do that. Now I know you were jumping around a little bit. We got you excited when we talked about the meat, but when you mentioned the honey, you seem to get lifted up a little higher off the chair. So why don't you go ahead and tell us about the honey?
Well, I just really, the producer I work with that does honey, she is actually my neighbor, and she has been working with bees for 40-some years.
Wow.
And just the more she tells me about honey, the more excited I get about it. it is one of the most natural products if it's done correctly. But even that, they're tampering with that. They're heating it and destroying the enzymes, and they're pasteurizing it
Yes.
and all this stuff. And she is just so committed to raw, pure honey. And
Hmm.
she takes it out of the hive and brings it to my store and does nothing to it. I mean, you can't get more natural than that. It's a
Uh-huh.
really cool product.
It's a
It
really
really,
cool product. Yeah, it has a lot of benefits too
yes, it does.
that deserves a video and time all its own
Yes, and
because of how nutritionally dense it is and how many benefits it has for the human body and that.
yes. So she loves honey. She loves her bees, and I just get excited about honey when I'm with
Hmm.
her. So she's my producer, and I just think she has the best honey
Uh-huh.
anywhere. And the more local you can buy it, the more antibiotic or
Yes, the more
pollen principles that will get in
right.
your body that will
Yep.
help you with immunities.
Yep, your autoimmune system is going to be benefited by
So,
locally.
I mean, she's my neighbor. Hey, I got it
Uh-huh.
really good, but
Good.
it's here in Central Illinois.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another product that your store is offering
Yes,
as
it
well.
is. Yes, it is. And she just fascinates me with her knowledge of bees.
Uh-huh.
Just
Well, this has been quite fascinating here too. I'm sure that all of you would agree. The information that's been shared, just the realization that we have something like this in our area, it's available to us. The difference between 97% of the meat that's out there and the 3% that they're offering, the knowledge that they have, the time that they put into this, the background that they have and the quality of the product, it's just gonna when we buy food, it literally is an investment. It truly is, because the higher the quality, as Diane alluded to a few moments ago, the better the quality of the food, the better the end result being the health of your body. And that's what we're after. You won't have to have the antibiotics externally. You won't have to have the drugs internally taken. You won't be sick as frequently and this and that. You're going to be a stronger individual. And it's literally going back in time, if you will, going back to the way the good Lord set it up. There's always three principles that you always want to live by, regardless of what food you get. Number one, you want to get food that's created the way it was 100 years ago. And here's a very good example: pasture raised, grass fed, all the way from beginning to end food. That's the way the good Lord had it, intended it. That's the way it was done years and years ago. That's what rule you want to apply with all of the foods that you get. Number two, you want to eat foods that would rot or spoil within 3 days. And that's what you want to do. So what that is talking about is you don't want to get foods that have been chemicalized, retarded, that have retardants in them, emulsifiers, stabilizers, all kinds of chemicals where you can ship it from one country to another country, have it sit out for 3 or 4 weeks, and it still looks like it came off the vine. Folks, that's an embalmed piece of who knows what. And you certainly don't want to get something that's been grown in a greenhouse. You have the fresh fruit in the middle of winter. Well, it's not going to be fresh. It's a greenhouse type of fruit. And this is what she's talking about too with the beef. It's not grown in a factory, so to speak, in these stables and these cages where they never move, and they're just raised for the explicit purpose of being slaughtered and sold for as big and as fat as they could possibly get as a result of the drugs they're eating. And at number three, you want to eat foods, the darker in the color of that particular food, the more nutritious it's going to be, the higher the nutritional value. And I'm certain that when you look at the meats that they offer, they're going to be a darker, richer color because of the oxygenation, because of the quality of the fiber of the meat. Remember, what you eat makes you healthier and stronger. What they eat makes, and I'm speaking of the beef and the cattle, the bovines, the chickens and whatnot, what they eat makes them stronger and healthier too. And it's demonstrated in the coloration of the meat. And it's amazing too to note that there are some companies, believe it or not, that will actually use carbon monoxide. They will pour it, they will blow it over the meat to make it redder again, so that you can have a product that's been sitting out there, and I'm telling you the truth, 2 or 3 or 4 months old, and it looks as fresh as though it were put out yesterday because of the coloration of that. And it's a rancid, dead piece of garbage that people are purchasing, thinking that they're getting nutritious value out of this dead piece of what was once living tissue.
Well, we are blessed to live in an age where we have freezers, because it was very hard to preserve meat
Hmm.
before refrigeration. So
Yes.
in a way, we are blessed to have that. And that,
In one extent, we are, but like many good things, we've taken advantage of it and abused it as well.
Mhm.
So
Yes, because a lot of our products have to be frozen, because they will spoil in 2 days.
right.
And so,
Well, yeah, yeah. Well, and I apologize. I'm getting into the fresh fruits and the
mhm,
fresh vegetables and whatnot,
yeah,
and certainly the fresh meats have to be refrigerated, retarded in
yeah,
their spoilage. Yes,
yeah,
I understand that.
yeah. So you're going with vegetables, I'm going with meat. So
Yeah. Well, we have to freeze the meat,
yeah,
right? I understand.
yeah,
But that's a different
different
animal.
animal. Yeah,
A
there
different
you
animal.
go.
There you go. Right. Well, Diane, it's really been a joy. Do you have anything else that you'd like to share that perhaps we didn't cover in this time together?
I don't think so. I think we covered quite a bit of ground here, and
Hmm.
I'd love to visit with
That
you
was a
all
great
again
education. Yeah.
if you would like to have me back for any specific
Absolutely,
thing.
yeah, and that's if you would like any other, if you have any other questions or concerns or whatever, we always invite you to email us at office@pro-activewellness.com. Again, that's office@pro followed by a dash activewellness.com. Send your questions to us, any suggestions you might have, and if they are regarding Sonrise Farms, we'll be more than happy to pass them on to Diane. And if you would, well, we'll have your email address as a result. We can forward that to her, and then she can follow up and get in touch with you, and go from there.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much. And we want to thank you too for allowing us this opportunity to share this information with you. And until the next video, and as always, God bless.